Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be honoring your relationship commitments. This particular topic that we're going to talk about today is a real big problem for a lot of guys in their relationships, because they get into fights and arguments with their girlfriends or their wives. She'll say, "Can you take out the garbage?" He'll say, "Sure, honey, I'll do that." And then he doesn't take out the garbage. And then the next day she sees it, it's still sitting there. They miss the garbage pickup. Now she's pissed off. So he goes and finally takes the garbage out. And he thinks, hey, it's resolved. And then a month later or a few weeks later or maybe 2 months later, she brings up the issue when she's pissed off and upset, and she throws the thing about not taking out the garbage, or when you didn't clean out the garage when you said you were going to. Because the core issue, what's happening here, is she's getting upset at her man, for not honoring his commitments. And when a guy says he's going to do something and then he doesn't, it upsets her because it causes her to feel like she can't trust his masculine core. A woman wants more than anything to know that when you tell her you're going to do something, that you're going to fucking take care of it. You're going to take care of business and you're going to get things handled. And when you don't, it forces her to move into her masculine essence, because masculine energy is all about goals, achieving, accomplishing things, that kind of thing. And feminine energy is all about opening up and receiving love. And when you don't do things that you say you're going to do in your relationship, your girlfriend or wife is going to get really upset and really pissed off at you. And years later, she'll continue to bring up the same things, and the reason she brings up the same topics is because you're basically hurting her in the same way that you did when you didn't take out the garbage or clean out the garage or get the car fixed or whatever it happened to be. And so I got an email here from a woman who's got a guy she's dating. She was initially pretty excited about the prospects for a relationship with this guy, but lately they've just been getting into some pretty nasty fights. It's because of the same issue. He told her he was going to do something, and then he's been waffling on it, and it's really creating some serious problems in a relationship. So she says, "Dear Corey, I came across your website not too long ago and had the chance to read some of your newsletter articles as well as your responses to relationship questions. Although your focus is on men, I am a woman, however. I like what I've read so far, and the reason your website came up is because I was searching for relationship advice. It would be so wonderful if you can offer a perspective on what I can do to make a change for the better. After being single for 4 years, I thought I found the man of my dreams 10 months ago. I am at a crossroads with this relationship now. Let me tell you why. We became exclusive after close to 3 months of dating. I made my intention of wanting to be in an exclusive relationship that will lead to marriage from day one. I held back sex this whole time and did my due diligence of qualifying him. And so I felt great about my selection. Good for you and sticking up for what you want. However, about a month or so into our exclusive relationship, I find myself struggling with his friendship with his ex. They had remained friends and call each other every 2 weeks. I was wary about the neediness, if not emotional codependency of the friendship, but I kept an open mind and an open heart dealing with the circumstances. I wasn't sure how I really felt about their friendship, since I've had a lot of past experience with a boyfriend, or I haven't had any past experience with a boyfriend who is still friends with his ex. I proceeded to initiate dialogues on 3 different occasions to gain a better understanding of what I can expect with the ex in our lives. On all 3 occasions, he assured me that they were just friends and he has no lingering romantic feelings for her. She's moved on and has a new boyfriend. Additionally, he offered to cut ties with her if in fact I feel uncomfortable with their friendship, and affirmatively said it would not be an issue for either of them. That's important. A little more time went by as I observed very closely. I didn't take his offer until finally, with all things considered, I concluded that their friendship was unhealthy and would hinder our relationship from developing. She says, I told him my reason for accepting his offer was that I felt our relationship was at a pivotal point for me, and in order to feel fully secure of his commitment, let alone his emotional availability, the friendship with her can end for now. Not necessarily indefinitely, but she needs to let us be. I was very clear of how I wanted our relationship to develop and spoke honestly of my position. He agreed to my relief. All sounds well, but this where it went wrong for us. 2 weeks after his promise to me, no action was taken. So here he's committed that, hey, I'm going to cut off contact with my ex because our relationship is so important. And then 2 weeks go by and he hasn't done it. And that would obviously piss any woman off. I was fuming until I exploded in rage and accused him of being dishonest about his commitment to us. Now, one thing I will say was you exploding like that, you're basically kicking him in the balls and emasculating him. That's not a healthy or a loving way to communicate. Obviously, you have every right to be upset because he didn't keep his word to you. He's basically being a weak bitch by not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So it's understandable why you're upset, but you should communicate in a loving way to him what it is that you want without blowing up and exploding. Because you got to remember, you're getting angry, and behind anger is always fear. And so you're afraid of something. You feel uncomfortable and uneasy with the situation with the ex. His reaction to me was to make a new promise that he would call her the next day and will take care of things. The next day I was still around, and he made no attempts of addressing the issue until I lost it again and yelled at him for his inaction. His reaction this time was to pick up the phone and call her right away with no communication plan in mind. He's just trying to make you happy at this point and calm you down so you're not so pissed off. So, of course, as anticipated, she was not happy with the situation and accused him of not being fair to her since he had not made any efforts for us to meet, thinking that would have mattered somehow. I agree with her on this. He definitely should have gotten the two of you together, hung out, went to lunch, whatever, and let you guys talk, hang out. Maybe you go to lunch or whatever. But at this point, it's several months into it, and he offered to say, hey, if it makes you uncomfortable, then I'll just cut off all contact. And then he said he was going to do it, and then he didn't. At this point, he came back to me to renegotiate, hoping I would agree to have a meeting with her and that I would feel better about the friendship somehow. They must have thought I felt threatened or jealous, as jealousy was a huge issue when they were together. Now, if jealousy was an issue, that would tell me that more than likely his ex-girlfriend didn't trust his masculine core either, because obviously he would say things and then not follow through on it. It sounds like your boyfriend is a type of guy who's trying to fix things. That's what most men try to do, and he's not understanding why you're so upset about this issue. And so he's trying to get you two to get together and work things out. He probably doesn't understand why you're getting so mad and pissed off, because you're mad and pissed off that he didn't keep his word. And that's the real issue. And you got to communicate to him, because we're logical. Men think logically. And the only way you can communicate effectively is if you communicate with step-by-step instructions. You can't beat around the bush or use innuendo and hope that he figures it out. Women that do that, all they do is end up getting themselves pissed off. So the argument went, and to make a long story short, at the end he called her back the second time and cut ties with her. I would think that was the end of it, but unfortunately, fast forward today, I still have lost a lot of respect for him. But worse, I can't trust him the same. I mean, obviously any woman would feel that way, because on numerous occasions he said he was going to do something and then he didn't. And then when he said he was going to, and then after the fact he tries to come back and alter the agreement or what he originally committed to. That's pretty fucking weak. And this tells me that he doesn't understand women, he doesn't understand to communicate, and he doesn't understand where you're coming from. And more than likely, most men are egocentric, and so I would say give him a copy of my book, have him read it or download it to his smartphone or something. It's only $1. But most guys, because they're egocentric, they're not going to want to admit they need help, and they won't seriously look into it. And so if you want to turn things around, you're going to have to improve your game and your communication skills to make up for his weakness, basically. Let's see here. So she says, he's trying to gain my trust back by following through on his words these days, but that was not without my help in clearly defining what he can do to gain my trust back. So, I mean, honestly, it looks like basically you're going to have to develop your communication skills. Instead of getting pissed off and angry, download my book, the Kindle version of it, and read it, because there's a lot of great communication skills in there that will help you understand where he's coming from and also better communicate to him on a level that he can understand, and also so he can understand why his behavior is causing so many problems in your relationship. Because I can tell from his reactions, he really doesn't get it. He doesn't understand why you're so mad and pissed off at him. You know, he's trying to solve the problem now between you and or the ex-girlfriend, but in reality, you just want him to keep his word. And because it was so many times he hasn't kept his word, now you're uneasy. You don't trust his masculine core. And any woman would feel this way. And so that's my best advice for you, is download the book, read it, start applying the techniques, give it a couple of months. And if things don't get better, if he's still telling you he's going to do things, it could be, you know, obviously other subjects, but if the guy is continually not keeping his word, then you've got a choice to make. You can either accept him the way he is and love him unconditionally and just accept the fact that, you know, sometimes he's a weak bitch and he doesn't keep his word. Or you can say, you know what, I gave it my very best shot and I'm out of here. And that's the best thing you can do, because I wouldn't just break up with him right now. I would work on developing your own communication skills, because this is going to help you regardless, whether you stay with this guy or not. Because, you know, I can tell you what you're doing by kicking him in the balls and, you know, constantly emasculating him. And, you know, I can see here you're fighting a lot, and that's just not healthy. That's not going to make things better if you keep doing that. Because when you constantly emasculate a man, we need to feel successful, that we're able to be successful at making you happy. And if you're constantly miserable and pissed off and jumping all over us over the slightest thing, then eventually we're just going to withdraw and leave the relationship altogether. And so you got some work to do there. Download the book, read it, apply it, give it a couple of months, and if he doesn't change, even though you are able to communicate to him what the problem is and what he's doing wrong, you can either accept him the way he is or leave him and go find somebody who will treat you the way you want to be treated. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibiya toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching this video on my website, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibiya toolbar. And if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation. You got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and plus I got a lot of paying phone coaching customers, and I got to take care of their emails first. But I will get back to you. And if you'd like to talk to me right away so I can help you with a specific situation or challenge that you're having, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session with yours truly. I will talk to you soon.